Okay, this is an experimental batch right here. I'm going to try to make honey oatmeal hot process, and as you can see, I've already reached, I've already stick blended and reached trace, and I'm, almost to the completion yet. I just feel like there's so many videos out there, you really don't need to see me doing the beginning processes. You haven't missed much. I measured everything. This is a single oil recipe. I found that my customers just like the single oil recipe I have for my honey oatmeal. I've changed it up a few times, and they notice and say, I don't like that, go back to what you made in the beginning. So just a plain single oil recipe. Like I said, this is a experimental batch. I have not made honey oatmeal soap hot process before, so I'm excited to see what I'm going to do. I've already ground up my oatmeal with my mortar and pestle. It's not as fine as it would be if I used my coffee grinder, but I like it like this. It's pretty fine. It's not a super fine powder, but I like it. And this batch is mostly just for me. I'm not going to sell it or anything. I just want to see what it's going to do. And I wouldn't sell it anyways because it's not using the honey that I normally use. I went to the place to get it. It's a locally harvested honey from a little peanut patch shop down the road. So I'm using some organic, 100% pure honey that I got from Food Line. So at least I am using organic honey, but it's not the honey that I normally use. So again, it's poofed up quite a lot. I haven't stirred it or anything. So I don't even know where I'm at as far as the phase goes. It looks like I have it way too hot. I can see that. I say I've got it way too hot because it's sticking to the edges, and I've never had that before. So yeah, it's burning it a little bit. That's fine. Lesson learned. Like I said, I've never made this hot process before. Look, that's the part right there that isn't even transformed into soap yet. Can you see that extra white part? It's a little piece in the middle that hasn't changed yet. So that means I need to get my whisk and stir it up. I say that this is an experimental batch. It's also an experimental video. So I'm going to try to practice some editing and see how I do with that. Matter of fact, the first part of this soap making I filmed, and I was trying, while it was reaching this point, I was trying to play around and see how to fast forward through like the stick blending. Just mix those chunks up. For the most part, it looks like it's almost at the Vaseline stage if I hadn't seen that huge white chunk that hadn't even transformed yet. Just want to make sure I get it all mixed in. It's kind of hard because I have injured my thumb somehow making soap. I don't know what I did. I think I just made too much this weekend. I think this is I made some rustic mint, some castile, some rooster soap, this batch. I made a lot of soap in the last day, so, or two. Actually, I didn't make any last night. I took the day off. So I made 4 batches in one day. That is something. Yeah. And my little cousin was telling me that he saw my videos on YouTube and he was so excited. I swear he's my best customer. He's 9 years old and he is my best customer. Matter of fact, they showed up at a craft show one time and he was telling everyone that stopped by, "You should buy this, it's the best." So I think one day I might have him come over so he can watch it and see how I do it. I think he would enjoy that. Well, it looks like it's at the Vaseline stage. I've cooked this way too fast, in my opinion. Next time I'm going to cook it on low. I forgot I had this setting on high. But like I said, this is just for me. This is 2 tablespoons of oats that I'm about to add. I think I'm going to add the oats before the honey. I should write that down so I remember that. Just to see. I don't know why I'm going to do it that way. I just feel like the honey might get stuck and make little clumps of oats, and I don't want that. See, and I get way too generous with my oats and honey. Sometimes I just feel like, well, that's not enough. I need more. Next thing you know, I'll put a whole cup in there. But I'm trying to do just 2 tablespoons per pound of oil, and this is a 2-pound batch, so I'm just going to do, oh, it smells so good. I'm just going to do, thumb hurts. I'm just going to do 2 tablespoons and see how that does. Sometimes I don't ground them, or I'll ground half and not the other half, just because I like that. I like seeing the big oats in there. Now I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of honey per pound. Now I'm normally way too generous with honey. I've got some honey oatmeal soap in my curing room now that I think I put a whole cup of honey in it, but it was like an 8-pound batch, so it's still a lot of honey, and it's really soft. But we've had a lot of rainy weather, so I really want to get a dehumidifier and see if that helps out. Now this measures half a tablespoon. Right? Yes, it's half a tablespoon. So that is the equivalent of 1. Scrape it all out. This would be 1.5. And normally I would already have all of this measured out when I'm making my normal batches. I like to have everything already out and ready to dump in, measured out and everything. Okay, so so this is 2 tablespoons of honey. Don't like to waste anything. Okay. Mix it in real good. I just realized it wasn't recording, so I have no idea where it cut off at. That's not cool. I made it. I've never even hit record. This is a honey oatmeal hot process soap. It's an experimental batch. I've never made honey oatmeal hot process before. This is a 2-pound single oil soap batch with 2 tablespoons of hand ground oatmeal and 2 tablespoons of some organic honey. It's not the honey I normally use. I like to use honey from a local harvester, and they were closed for the holidays, so I couldn't use them. I've mixed everything in, and I am about to dump this in the mold. I don't like to use any scents with my honey oatmeal because I just like that natural honey oatmeal scent. It smells delicious. I hate that I don't know where that other video left off at. You can see it's a beautiful color. I added the honey and the oatmeal after the cook. I have no idea what's going to happen because I've never, like I said, I've never made this before, hot process. Normally I make it cold process and I add the honey and oatmeal at light trace, and then I just continue mixing it in the stick blender to make sure the honey and the oatmeal get ground up and mixed in, gets fully incorporated into the soap. So I'm excited to see how this turned out with the oatmeal being added after the cook and the honey as well. I don't know if the honey is going to be, if it's going to react at all or what. I really don't know. And since I don't have the answers to these questions, I will not be selling this. This will be purely for me. Once I've tried it and know it's A-okay to use, I'm going to probably let a couple of friends and relatives who have different skin types try it out too. I tend to give my soap to my pickiest family members because I know they'll criticize. I usually try to find something wrong with it, which I like because those are my best sample users. Because I want to know if it's drying or if they felt like it got too smushy. I don't have my freezer paper out or I would mush it all the way in, but I kind of don't really care about the top. I just wanted to turn the soap so I can see if it's A-okay. Might even go and ask a few soaper people in the study hall if they've made honey oatmeal hot process before, and if so, when did they add the oatmeal? I love it. I do see a few specks of oatmeal. I really like the visual effect of the oatmeal in the soap, so I'm just hoping I mixed in that honey good enough. Did I turn this off? Nope. It's late. Probably shouldn't have attempted this, but because I'm ready to go to bed. Well, I guess I got it as smooth as I could without the freezer paper, so that's a plus. This is a single oil recipe, and I discounted by 5%. I didn't use a super fatty oil because I kind of feel like honey is the super fat, but I know it's not. Well, there we go. I will reveal the cut tomorrow. This is honey oatmeal, hot process, experimental batch to see what happens with the honey and the oatmeal being added after the cook, as well as if this performs as well as my cold process recipe, which is the exact same recipe, just different. Sometimes I don't ground the oats, but that's pretty much the only difference. See you tomorrow.